Bom dia, new moons. I am Josie the Mustang, the Afro-Latina goddess of witches, and you're aligned with the frequency of the Lua Nova podcast. And in today's collective reading, we are covering the fire and water signs. If you did not hear the reading from yesterday, that is when I covered the earth and air signs. Please keep in mind that when I do these collective readings for all 12 zodiac signs, I am trying to get to all of your signs quickly. So these are not super long readings. All right. I no longer take personal tarot readings, but you can join the Patreon if you would like to send in your questions about, that you need answered with tarot. And for $5 a month, I will be answering your questions via the tarot. All right. And last episode, I mentioned an episode that you would have already heard if you're on Patreon way back in May. So my apologies for mentioning a very old Patreon episode now at the time that you're hearing this, because all of my episodes are going to have to be pre-recorded for a little bit. So I didn't keep that in mind when I was recording yesterday's episode. All right. So before we get into the fire and water sign and their reading for the week, something that I have moved to the beginning, and it still doesn't have a name at the time of this recording, but I'm just going to call it the Lua Nova bulletin board. All right. These are the things that I need to go over in the beginning and at the end of the show. Starting off with what I just mentioned to you, the Lua Nova Patreon. For those of you who have tarot related questions, or you want to hear me talk about what's going on in pop culture, you can join the Patreon by going to patreon.com/the Lua Nova podcast, or you can download the Patreon app and look up Lua Nova that way. Always go to the show notes if you need direct links. Okay. If you have a question that is not tarot related, or you want to listen to my albums, Ethereal, Pop, Alchemist, or Summer Solstice, you can learn more by going to the official website for Lua Nova, and it is luanovapodcast.net. If you are an Aphrodite devotee, or you're just kind of getting into your goddess era, go to goddessoflove.net. Again, that is goddessoflove.net, where you can purchase the ebook that I wrote regarding Aphrodite. It is called Aphrodite's Algorithm, and you can also listen to the book there. All right. If you want to support Lua Nova, I appreciate you so much, and so does my team. You can go to buymeacoffee.com/luanovapodcast, and there you're welcome to contribute that way. The Cash App username for Lua Nova is $luanovapodcast. If you want to buy from my wish list, it is at throne.com/Josie the Mustang. If you just want to join me over on social media, the social media for Lua Nova is the following. The TikTok username is Lua Nova Podcast, and so is the Twitter username. And please don't try to correct me and say it's not Twitter. Yes, it is. That's what I'm going to be calling it. So you can call it whatever you want to call it. All right, new moons. Time to get into your reading for this week. I'm glad that you all are enjoying these. I like that you prefer this format. Good to hear. All right, I'm sorry. Lua Nova team, not my new moons. Can you please run the disclaimer for me? Thank you.
By continuing to listen, you are consenting to a collective tarot reading by Josie the Mustang. With over 17 years of experience, Josie approaches tarot with intention and respect. She is not accepting private readings at this time. This message is collective in nature and may or may not resonate. Take what speaks to you and release the rest. Ao continuar ouvindo, você está consentindo com uma leitura coletiva de tarô feita por Josie the Mustang. Com mais de 17 anos de experiência, Josie aborda o tarô com intenção e respeito. No momento, ela não está aceitando leituras particulares. Esta mensagem é de natureza coletiva e pode ou não ressoar com você. Aproveite o que falar com você e libere o resto.
When I can, I try to make this just one big recording so that it's not a bunch of breaks. When I do have to stop the recording, I do. For instance, was it last episode, or it may have been a Patreon episode where my phone just kept going off and I kept having to stop the recording. So my sincerest apologies, because personally I hate when I'm listening to a podcast and their phone keeps going off. So if you could hear that, it wasn't on purpose. I promise. It wasn't on purpose. All right. Starting off with Sagittarius. Sagittarius, what is your message for this week? Okay, Sagittarius. I like to see it. Honestly, you're going to be like, really? Yes, I do. You know why? Because you are a natural leader. No surprise there. Okay. Sagittarius, you have got something that's been weighing on you, on those shoulders. Okay. Those centaur shoulders of yours are heavy. Something's been on your mind a lot over the last few months. And this week you're going to be making a decision that changes everything. There's a big time energy of this being related to relationships, romantic relationships. I pick up on more of this is for people who have been with somebody for a short amount of time. And so if you've been with someone for a short amount of time, I don't think this is the right move for you regarding being in this situationship or relationship anymore. I don't. And I think you always knew that. And you always knew that this wasn't going to be long term for you. And it's time for you to make the right decision and move on. But I hope that you go about it the right way. Okay. Be kind, be understanding of how that person feels. And don't be so fiery in how you say things this week. Okay. Be mindful of how you come across. Right. And it's not to say that you did anything wrong or that you meant to be harmful, but I just want you to choose your words carefully, okay? But I definitely am picking up on, for you Sagittarius, that this week is just kind of the time for you to leave certain romantic relationships that have no real value in your life anymore. It's time for you to leave them right where they are, okay? And what I see here with this next card, the King of Wands. The King of Wands tells me that for a few months now, you've been overcoming a lot, meaning that there's been people in your life that are rooting for you, but then there's other people that kind of keep putting roadblocks in your way, is the best way I could put it. I definitely am physically seeing blocks. So it's as though every time that you're trying to make a move forward, they're sabotaging you. You know, and you knew this. This isn't something that is a surprise to you. But because of this, you're letting go of things that really don't serve you. It leads to this King of Wands energy of being like, yeah, but nothing's really going to get in my way unless I allow it, right? So I'm not going to allow it. I'm not going to allow anything to get in my way, especially this week. And this week is a good setup for you regarding it's time for you to consider your future, your long-term future, and I definitely mean relationships and your career. I think that this week, I'm not telling you to make big decisions in your career this week, but you're feeling almost like you're pulled in a lot of different directions, you know? Don't be impulsive at all. Because yes, I see that romantically, there's kind of, situationships and relationships that had already fizzled. They're ending. But what I'm also seeing is this impulse to just say whatever you think right then and there. Instead of thinking this through. Think out what you say. Think about how you come across this week. And whatever it is that you say and do so with empathy. All right? So Sagittarius, that is your reading for this week. Move with empathy this week. All right. Aries. Let's see, Aries. What is your message this week? Hold on just a moment. Aries. All right. Putting these cards right here. Okay. Aries. Love to see it, because I'm picking up already that we are going to be having a good time. I don't know why. Why do I know that? Because of this first card, the Fool. I love that card. I do, because that tells me that There's some new beginnings for you, Aries. And you saw this, didn't you? Before I said it, you said, let me guess, I'm about to go on a trip or something. Yes, you are, actually. But I want to know a little bit more about what's going on here. So let me put these cards right here to the side because I can already tell I don't need them. And I am going to be pulling right here. Right here in this deck. Rapidly. Okay, look at that. Look at that. So you know that trip you've been wanting to go on? It's time to plan that trip. It's time to go. First, starting off with the Fool card, which is literally the first card in the tarot. What is the tarot about, class? The Fool's journey. This is a trip that changes your life. I think emotionally more than anything in the world. You're going to learn about yourself during this trip. I advise those of you who are like, what do you mean? I can't take a trip right now. Maybe you can't do it right now, but I definitely think it's time to start planning that trip this week. It's time to start planning that trip this week. You need to have a getaway. And I want you to have this getaway by the end of 2026. Because what I'm seeing for you when you do take this time for yourself is the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands came right after it, which means what? A rapid manifestation. So for those of you who are like, I've been wanting to do this, that's your rapid manifestation of, you know what? I'm going to this trip. I see a beach. For whatever reason, I heard Hawaii. For whatever reason. I know why. Some of you are going to Hawaii. It's giving big tropical energy. So what I want you to do is to stop getting in your head about, well, is this the right time? Who am I going to go with? Please take this from somebody who overplans. Don't overthink it. Just do it. And make sure that it's done by the end of 2026. It will serve you well. It will serve you to think about yourself for a moment. I think that oftentimes what I see with certain signs in the zodiac is an emphasis a lot on only one area of your life. Too much of an emphasis of, well, but I need to get this done because I want to have this promotion and I want this career. And all of that's always going to be the case for you, especially Aries. That's always going to be the case. You're great at being an entrepreneur. You're great at getting things done. I mean, you're quite literally the leader of the zodiac for a reason. And what I want you to take that fiery energy of yours and I want you to do with it is to push it into an area of your life that you ignore. When it comes to me saying you need to take a vacation, I always feel like people think I need to hop on a plane and it needs to cost all this money. Not necessarily. It could be an hour from where you're at. I just want you to do it. And I need you to do it by the end of this year because it leads to a massive manifestation. All right? There is something that not only are you stewing about, and you've been wanting this for years, but you keep wondering in the back of your head, how come it hasn't happened? It hasn't happened because you're not putting enough of yourself at the forefront here. All right? And Aries, I don't feel like there's anything else I really need to say about that. I think that's it for you. That's it. There is no more. So we're going to move right on to Leo. All right, Leo. Leo, what's your message for this week? Leo, what is your message for this week? This is for Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Leo Stelliums. Leo, what's your message this week? Okay. The Leo card, literally. Okay. All right, but what does this mean, Spirit? Why did I get this card for Leo? Okay, well, that makes sense. All right. Okay, Leo. You have a lot of compassion for the wrong people. That's you're going to see that this week. That person, those people are going to show you who they really are. And I need you to have the strength to cut them off. And to keep your distance from them. They don't mean you any good. And they never did. Now, the extrovert in you wants to call them out for this publicly on social media and tell everybody, don't do that. Don't do that. What I see with this first card, the Strength card, is that there is something regarding how much compassion you give to people that is going to backfire. So I need you to make a plan. And I need you to execute that plan quietly. And here's what I mean by that. These people who think that they got over on you or they've been lying to you from the beginning, they have no idea that I'm telling you to make this plan. Make this plan to exit that so-called situationship. Make this plan to exit that job. I definitely am not really picking up on that this is job related though. I'm picking up on that this is fake friends and a situationship. These people have always been stabbing you in the back. They were never your friends. They never saw it for you. Okay? And so, unfortunately, with this 9 of Swords energy, this is going to lead to you, you're not able to sleep. You're not able to eat. Leo. No. That's not a good look for you. Because you are the sun. Okay? Cause I'm talking to my healed Leos, not my unhealed Leos. And my healed Leos, you want everybody to win. You're not like the unhealed Leos that you typically don't get along with. You're like, no, I want everybody to win. I'm not like those other Leos who it's always about me. I want it to be about everybody. But you see, these people, these so-called friends, that situationship, they know that. And they have been taking advantage of it. And it is time for that to stop. All right. If you don't cut this person off, if by the time that this next reading doesn't roll around, I want to hear some feedback from Leos and I want to hear, I cut them off. I heard you. Okay. Leo, I don't need to say nothing else because that reading pissed me off. And I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at these people who think that they got away with you. Make a plan, execute it quietly, get away from them. Cut them off, change your phone number. Do not talk to these people. Do not allow them back in your life. All right. And get some sleep. Get some sleep, Leo. Moving on to Pisces. For the water signs, we're going to move on to Pisces. Pisces, what is the message this week for Pisces? Okay. Love that. It's a beautiful card. Okay. And Spirit, please clarify the Queen of Wands energy. Yeah, I know it. I'm seeing they are very confident this week. All right. And then this black cat energy tells me that they're being mysterious about it. You're not loud about your confidence. You're keeping it to yourself. You got something up your sleeve this week, Pisces. Okay. Pisces. Let's clarify this. Oh, okay. Pisces, this reading makes so much sense to me. This is easy peasy. For the Pisces, with this Queen of Wands energy, you have something up your sleeve regarding, you know what I'm picking up on? You have this idea that nobody knows how to do as well as you do. And I think it's business related. Maybe starting your own business. And also for those of you who are business owners, it's an area of business that only you have ever thought of. I want you to be quiet about it though. Don't talk to anybody, not even your significant other. Think about this one for a little bit. Typical for a water sign, intuitively, you know that I know that this is going to work. This plan is going to work. This idea is going to work. But I want you to think about it. Sit on it for a little bit more. Give it about a month before you do anything with this idea. Why? Because everything's going to fall into place for you. Right now, it's time for you to look inwardly. You oftentimes ask other people what they think is best, what they think should be the next move for you. For those of you who are business owners, it's a lot of you asking business partners. It's a lot of you asking other people around you what they think you should do. Let's stop. Let's stop doing that. Especially this particular week. This week is vital for you to get that business plan down on paper. All right. Put it somewhere where you're not constantly looking at it though. I want you to come back to it later. Because like I said, let the universe begin to show you some signs. I saw the number 444. When you see the number 444, the angel number 444, just know that that's the universe saying, now it's time. Now it's time. And I bet you that you see that within a month. Now it's time. All right. The next card, the Hermit. The Hermit tells me that there's a lot of, you've been a little more extroverted than usual for you, but I need you to take a break, because energetically you tend to take on you absorb a lot of energy, and it's draining you. And in order for you to execute these plans I see for you, and I see you doing something nice for somebody that you love. And that's another plan that you have. It's going to go well. Let me just tell you that now. But for now, let's take a moment to just think about what it is that you want. Not everybody's input. For instance, those of you who are about to propose to somebody, don't ask everybody what they think. What flowers should I get? What should I wear? You know what to do. You already do. You have outstanding, amazing ideas. Keep them to yourself. All right? Take the time for yourself when you have a moment to be alone, to hash out this plan in your head, to think about how it makes you feel, something that you're good at. You're good at thinking about how something makes you feel. Because this does in turn end up affecting a lot of other people around you in a good way. So, but right now it's time for you to seek your own guidance. All right? So, Pisces, that was the easy one. That reading made a lot of sense for you this week. That's gonna be easy for you. You're about to have a good time, but in a month's time is when that plan will be executed. Remember, your angel number, Pisces, is 444. Scorpio, moving on to Scorpio. What is your message this week, Scorpio? All right, rapid. Okay. And Spirit, I'm a little confused. Why the Knight of Swords? Why are we getting the Knight of Swords? What's happening? Is somebody, who's getting in Scorpio's way? Who are they feeling like? Why is this energy popping up? You can't get in their way. They're not having it. All right. Oh, they thought. All right. Well, Scorpio, this 2 horses. Look at this. I love it. Starting off with the Knight of Swords, Scorpio, what I'm seeing for you for this week is there is so much that's about to happen for you. You know what? I need an oracle card. Next couple of weeks. So card number 3, next couple of weeks. So in the next 2 weeks, Scorpio, you're going to get some, you know what I see? I see you inheriting something. So that's family related. So there's something going on in your family dynamic where you're going to be the one that receives a reward. And you're going to be the one that's everybody's talking about, everybody's looking at, everybody's whispering about. And for those of you where this is work related, because I don't see this being somebody who's a business owner. I see this as somebody who, you've been at your job for a long time now. And that ambition, and it's not even so much that you're trying to work hard, you just do because that's just who you are. It's paying off. And to be honest with you, there's a ton of people that wanted this for you. Behind the scenes, there's people rooting for you. There's people trying to do things for you. They're celebrating you. They're excited, and you don't even know it. If you only knew. And I don't mean just your spirit team, because all of our spirit team, they're always rooting us on, right? Unless we're, awful people, but I'm not focusing on the good here. What I see for you is you succeeding in a way that's so much bigger than you thought. And the rewards are just paying off left and right. And how do I know that? The 6 of Wands. So the 6 of Wands tells me that this horse that was in the, in the original reading, the Knight of Swords, in the first card, that was rapid movement, right? This horse is moving. Think fire horse energy, which is all of 2026. That's what was happening for you. it was, I am focused. And then that led to the Six of Wands. You see the same horse and how he's blushing a little bit. Like, me? What? I didn't know you guys felt like that about me. Yes. Because what I see with the Six of Wands energy is everybody being like, you did it. We're so excited for you. And here's your reward. So you're about to be rewarded within the next 2 weeks, Scorpio. All right. Scorpio, that reading made me happy because some of these readings are bumming me out a little. But that's okay. It can't always be rainbows, right? Even when I want it to be. That's just not always the case. Okay. Moving on to the last reading. And it is for Cancer, and the card flew out of the deck here. Okay. All right. Spirit, can you clarify this card for me? Cancer, what are we feeling disconnected from? What's going on here? Spirit, can you clarify this for me? All right. Cancer, I'm seeing there's a little bit of a lack of ambition this week. It's like, I'm over it. I need a break. I am mentally fried. I just want everybody to leave me alone. I need a moment, guys. So that is the first energy that I'm seeing with this Four of Cups energy. It's not that you're being a brat. It's that I think that you've kind of overdone it. You need a moment to yourself. And so if you live with people, what I want you to do is to take a day or two. And I know if you're parents, you're like, I can't take a day or two. If you can get a babysitter, for those of you who have younger kids, I need you to do that because you're a little bit burned out right now, Cancer. And I'm picking up on, I don't mean in one area, I mean in all areas. You're burned out in friendships. You're burned out with your family. You're burned out at your job. You need a moment to reset. Okay? And so I want you to take that moment to reset, to contemplate what it is that you want to start on, because I want you to start on a new project. Whether that is painting your bedroom or doing something that makes you smile in the long term. That's why I said painting your bedroom. That's something that's more long term, right? You're going to be there for a while, right? Because this next card, the Ace of Wands, tells me that when you take this break, all of these new opportunities for you begin, all these doors begin to open for you. And because all of these doors begin to open for you, you're going to need to be rested in order to get to those. You're going to need to be rested because let's say that you paint a bedroom and then somebody is like, wow, you did a really great job at that. And then the next thing you know, that leads to you becoming an interior decorator. You know what I mean? So this is about to snowball into a new project. But please take that break first, Cancer. It needs to happen for you. You need it. And I'm going to pull an oracle card for you because I feel like you need and want a time frame. All right. So the card that I pulled for you, is card number 28, and it says 9 months from now. So 9 months from now, what that tells me is that 9 months from now, there is going to be an opportunity that changes your whole, not even your whole life, just your perspective on everything. You begin to use your intuition in a way that you never have before. Maybe you start reading tarot. Maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe you begin to help other people with this intuition, or it's just that you're like, I need something different. All right. I need a different outlook. And so that's why right now I want you to take some time for yourself, Cancer, because you desperately need that time for yourself. You've earned it. You don't even have to earn it, but you earned it. All right. In order to get to this Ace of Wands energy. All right, new moons, that's it. Obrigada, new moons, for aligning with the frequency of the Lua Nova podcast. Remember, every other week is when you get your collective readings. So next week we will be just doing a regular episode. Next week, I'm going to be talking to you about a manifestation technique that I decided to work on. I'm bringing back a few techniques here and there because manifestation is supposed to be fun. And sometimes it's not so much that we need the manifestation techniques, but we do need the fun. That's what manifestation is supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun. We're supposed to have the audacity of a Pomeranian. So having the audacity of a Pomeranian means I'm going to have fun no matter what. And sometimes we got to do fun techniques like the one that I'm going to be teaching you. Okay, I'm not going to tell you what it is. My Patreon members, they already heard this some time ago because they got to hear what I was in the middle of about almost 2 months ago when I thought of this idea. Okay, and it's not a manifestation technique that I came up with, but it is something that I thought of to teach you. It's easy. It's not something that you need a lot of supplies for, but I am going to ask you right now to have a pen and paper. And you're not going to need the pen and paper for the episode, but you are going to need the pen and paper in order to do the technique. This is not something you're going to be doing on a laptop or your iPad. This is something you're going to need to physically write. Okay, so new moons, obrigada for aligning with the frequency of the Lua Nova podcast. And I will talk to you next week. Ciao, ciao.